protein gummies?
Yeah, they're all, yeah. That's garbage. Yeah, we should stop right at these places because they have that batch that should go. The last one you got, when you open the bag, it's just one giant. They don't know what you got.
Fire. Just taking chunks of it.
There you go.
You need another tripod, John? Or at mine in my car?
Yeah,
Yeah, put that back. There you go. That's good.
There we go.
You can see your legs now.
You see my legs?
We all can.
Get some leg extension.
You still can't see Joe's.
Wow.
Oh. Hey, it's been too long, but I had to. I had to.
Nothing yet.
I'm gonna be here till 11 o'clock.
Ooh, it stopped.
Yeah, it's a new,
URL one.
It's new URL.
yeah. They wouldn't let us pick up, because, you know what it is, once it's set on a recording software, you can't go back to the,
It sucks.
Jeff, you owe John a Smith bonus.
Oh,
What? What?
Okay, so this is the new URL. Okay.
It's like rubbing your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
I'm very early every morning.
watching. Okay.
I do know we
All
go
right.
at like 8 o'clock. What's the day of life?
I
Yeah.
was about to say.
I'm up at
Okay.
3:45 every morning at the gym and then start done at 8 o'clock. It's the only time I have.
Audio is crisp.
okay, we got
Wonderful.
24 people back.
All right.
Nice.
Someone says nice bicep, Jordan.
Thank you. Ooh, I
Um,
appreciate that.
Can you
Yeah.
maybe resend a text?
Mm-hmm. I was also gonna test.
Can we see all of
email
this?
if possible
Mm-hmm.
as well?
From that, yeah.
All right. Okay, everybody,
I got-
we
I got,
are,
like, one bicep cut off, so.
We are back. We're a little bit tighter here, but I'm glad audio is a go. All right. Okay, so let's get back into these questions. Hopefully everybody will find their way over here. But let's go with, okay, so Chris wants to know, what is your guys' best bulking stack that you would recommend?
Bulking stack. The base, I would say Sustanon 250 for sure. And then you can probably use Superdrol's on what having more, right?
You're right, yeah. we gotta-
God.
What's closest to it, Monsterplex? Or is it
Monsterplex.
Helidrol?
Helidrol.
Helidrol,
So,
yeah.
Helidrol, maybe throwing some Decadarbon in there, get a little 19.
Equipoise if you're a hard gainer, needs your
Mhm.
appetite up. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, normally I'd probably go Sustanon, I'd throw Decadarbon in there, and then, yeah, if you're a hard gainer. I mean, regardless, if you're trying to put on size, you need to be intaking a lot of calories.
Right.
Equipoise is real good, because that 1,4-andro, when that converts to boldenone, one of the biggest things about boldenone is it increases your appetite
Mhm.
really well. Jeff knows personally, he couldn't stop snacking when he took that Equipoise, remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah, that's one thing that I kept eating and eating and eating, and, yeah, it's, I think I stopped that cycle short,
Yeah.
because it was just, you ate.
Brutal.
Yes,
Yeah,
if
you just wanna
you got
eat
a
it.
calorie problem, yeah, throw some equipoise in there, that's gonna help it out.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, any of those, Sustanon Helidrol with some Deca, or Sustanon Deca and Equipoise, any of those will work.
All right, drunken bumper, I mentioned this earlier, but the sound probably cut off, but, right now, no, we don't have one test, Superdrol, Andriol, or
Andriol.
180 Androdiol.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mandriol.
Or 180.
Yeah.
We're waiting for, specific, just a statement from High Tech. I don't want to make any assumptions about what's happening with it, if it's coming back, when it's coming back. So no, we do not have those right now. I don't have an answer, a strict answer to give you either, unfortunately. Trend Guy 405, is Arimaplex for 4 weeks enough to recover your testosterone to baseline from a Monsterplex cycle, 8-week cycle?
Yeah, I'd say so. If you're worried about it, if you're even more worried about it, I would say throw in another natural test booster in there. Something like the
Test 21.
Test 21, yeah.
Test 21 works, Apex Male works. any like natural test booster. But yeah, Remiplex, throw in Test 21 with it if you're really worried about it.
Yeah,
But 4 weeks is plenty of time.
definitely.
Okay. All right, we're gonna wait for some more questions to come in. All right, so we're gonna talk about, okay, we mentioned earlier, if you didn't hear us, you know, Jordan, you went through a very, you've done one cycle, because again, if you've seen Jordan in the other videos over the past year.
Big boy.
Yeah, big boy, yes. So there's a new stack that we created called the Jordan's Cutting Stack. Can you tell us about that stack, how you took it, you know, your kind of diet around it, how much you lost and that kind of thing, for people that are wanting to cut right now?
Yeah, so I mean, back early 2024, I had my first child. Obviously, for the dads that are watching, life gets busy when you have a newborn, so my time at the gym was kind of cut short, couldn't really find the time to get there. Obviously, I could have, but I made some excuses, and yeah, I probably put on like 30, 40 pounds of unwanted weight. So the stack that I ran at the start of the year was andriol, dimethazine, and trenibol. And that specific stack I ran for 8 weeks, so 2 bottles of each. And I had cut down from I was about almost 230 pounds. At the end of the cycle, I was about 203 pounds. Obviously, I lost a lot of water weight. That was probably about the first 10, 12 pounds. But then I did drop a significant amount of body fat. So one of the biggest questions I got is andriol is a 4-andro. Why did I run a 4-andro on a cut? One of the biggest things that I was worried about is a lot of times when you run a standalone 1-andro with, you know, an epi-andro and a drying stack, is joint pain. I'm pretty susceptible to joint pain when it comes to like epi-andros, so I chose the 4-andro because being that it's a wet compound, I would have hold on to a little extra water weight, so I used that with the dimethazine and the trenibol being, you know, dimethazine's an epi-andro, so it's going to build lean muscle mass, strength, reduce water retention. Trenibol is the 19 norm, but it's the enthanate version, so it's a dry compound. It's very fast acting. It's actually probably one of my favorite prohormones. So that helps dry me out. So I use that 4-andro to help protect my joints by keeping a little extra water weight on. And it worked really well, and I really didn't experience any joint pain. I really didn't have an overabundance of like water retention because of the epi-andro. I didn't even use Remicade at all. I didn't have any sensitivity, no acne or anything like that. I normally don't. When I take prohormones, I normally don't have any like high estrogen side effects. I'll normally gain a little water retention, but it wasn't anything crazy. But yeah, I used that stack for 8 weeks, in addition to obviously caloric restriction. That's the biggest thing when it comes to losing body fat, is you have to be eating, or you have to be burning more calories than you're eating throughout the day. That's really the only way to lose weight. You know, if I ate whatever I was eating when I wasn't really working out back in 2024, yeah, I'd probably gain some muscle while working out, but I'm gonna gain just as much fat, and I'm gonna be super bloated, heavy weight, all that. So, but again, yeah, it was andriol, dimethazine, trenibol, ran that for 8 weeks, followed up with a post cycle. I took a Remiplex, I took Test 21 along with that, and then I also ran Lexogen and Turkisteron 652 because I wanted some natural anabolics to help me kind of dense and harden the muscles, build some extra muscle. And it was funny enough, I mean, off cycle, really all I lost was a little water retention. My strength gain stayed the same, my energy level stayed the same. You know, if you follow your cycle correctly, you keep your training and your diet and your sleep the same, you know, because that's a lot of, you know, questions we get is, when I jump off cycle, I'm just going to lose everything. And that normally happens for those who don't stay on the same regimen that they had, you know, during the cycle. So I really didn't lose anything but a little excess water retention. I probably lost like 2 or 3 pounds, and it was just purely water. So I could definitely tell I'm a little less like water bloated, but I feel just fine on it. So but yeah, andriol, dimethazine, trenibol. I mean, that was definitely probably one of my favorite stacks that I've ever run, and it definitely it helped me knock off 25 pounds.
Yeah, and I mean, if you need proof, you look at the past videos over the year, you can see what he used to look like compared to what he totally different person. Yeah, so in a good way. All right, so there you go. If you look for a cutting stack, Jordan's Cutting Stack is a great one to choose. And if you use Showtime, you're going to get 10% off the stack itself. All right, so Trend Guy wants to know, how suppressive are today's prohormones? He used to use the old school ones. Oh, those were great. But they were full of side effects. You know, they're dangerous. I mean, if you didn't do them correctly. So compared to the old ones, how are the new legal prohormones that we sell?
Very different. Very different. I mean, the first aspect is the whole methylation thing, basically, you know what I'm saying? Where the ones back in the day were very methylated, completely ruin your liver, your enzymes would skyrocket, no matter what kind of liver protection you take or anything like that. That was one downside to it. And the other downside to them was they would actually suppress your natural hormones by a lot. Reason being is because the old prohormones were legitimately oral forms of the actual anabolics themselves. They just compounded them a little bit differently, so that way your body can take them in a certain way compared to, you know, injections or anything like that. These new ones though, they're all DHEA based. That's the nice thing about them. So, and again, DHEA is a sulfate that your body naturally makes. So all you're doing is pretty much just enhancing what your body naturally produces. If you do get suppression, and again, it's from various ones, to be honest with you, it's very minute amount. I'm talking, you know, single digit percentages of anything, to be honest with you. So, some cases it might be none, to be honest, but I mean, yeah, no, the ones now are much safer. Honestly, still pretty effective, to be honest with you. I mean, again, you're not taking the old ones, obviously, but no, the newer ones still work fantastic, honestly. For those who, you know, want that different edge when they're lifting or whatever kind of goal you have, and you want a little bit more oomph into it, basically, I think these hormones are fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, I took both, and, well, yes, after like 30 days, so the old ones you would totally notice, but, you know, you get like the back
Oh, you get
pumps.
the-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
Like,
yeah.
I think I've tried, like, I've had like real dimethazine, like old school
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and like within 4 days of taking it, the horrible side pain.
Yeah.
Literally, my liver was dying.
Yeah. I mean, these, I've never ran into any problems with it. I'm older now, of course,
Mhm.
but they work great, and, yeah, I've never ran into one problem,
Yeah.
which is good, so. All right, let's see, so Van Hooser, thank you for being patient this whole show. He ordered the Methaquad and Abnormal, great stack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Any tips for the stack, you know, he'd be interested. So he's got what, he's got a 4, he's got a 1, he's
Yeah.
got the 19 Nor.
Yeah, so Methaquad has, you know, it's a 1 andro to 4 andro, it's a form of androsterone, and then you've got your aromatase. You're kind of covering your whole bases right there. You wouldn't need an AI because it comes with, you know, the aromatase in there. Methaquad is once per day. I would say after your first month, if you like the Methaquad and it's working well for you, I'd bump it up to 2. I'd do a second round. And then, yeah, I mean, you got the 19 Nor with the Abnormal, which is a minor dose, but you get 3 esters in it, which are gonna be quicker releasing and slower releasing. So that's gonna improve joint pain, help build some lean muscle mass. I mean, overall, you're gonna experience some lean muscle gains on
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
All right. And again, guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to go to bestpricenutrition.com/showtime. Enter your email address. We're gonna be giving away a lot of this good stuff here. All right, so let's get some more questions for you guys. Keep them coming. Let's see. Comment. Okay. Samuel wants to know: can I take Halodrol, dimethazine, and equipoise twice a day, and decabolin once a day for 8 weeks? He's on a carnivore diet, looking to recomp. Appetite's very low, so it's high protein and fat diet, no carbs. So he wants to take Halodrol, dimethazine, equipoise, and decadurable.
I would probably swap the dimethazine with just the decadurable and keep it at the Halodrol, decadurable, and equipoise. Because I mean, the 2 out of the 3 are more so like bulking compounds compared to, you know, dimethazine is made to be a cutting, it's an heavy andro, so it's made to be a cutting agent. Yes, I don't really know why you'd want to throw that in there.
But now, when you think you'd maybe throw it in there to keep it a little bit drier?
Well, the thing about the carnivore diet is you're gonna be dry anyways.
Right, yeah.
You're
Oh,
not
yeah,
taking
no
Yeah,
carbs.
there's no blood in your
Yeah.
muscles, I mean, you're losing all the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have no carbs, your glycogen storage is gonna be low.
Literally.
Really, really low. You're gonna be running on ketones, so your water retention is gonna be extremely low anyways.
Right.
So I think if you threw dimethazine in there, you're probably gonna be super dry, you're probably gonna have some joint pain.
Yeah.
So I would just stick with the decadurable and the Halodrol. And equipoise too, especially if, you know, you're having appetite issues, that'd be real good for that.
All right, so if that answers that question, let's see. one came in here. All right, let's see. That's okay. Do prohormones need enclomiphene as a PCT, and do they cause lower testosterone or shutdown? Just bought Superdrol 7 from Blackstone Labs and Arimoplex.
No, you do not need enclomiphene. If you wanna take it based off what you've seen from your blood work, totally up to you, but the prohormone specifically do not need it.
That'd be kind of overkill, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Arimoplex should be plenty enough. And then Superdrol, I mean, that's a,
It's an epi.
yeah, it's an epi, yeah, so yeah, you're gonna get next to no conversion at the same time.
Yeah. I would probably with the Superdrol too, I'd pick up some maybe Primobalin too, just to get a 1 andro in there.
Right, yeah.
Because with the Primo, you're getting a blend of a 1 andro, the epi, and the 6 keto.
Mhm.
So I'd always like having some sort of 1 andro based, taken with like an epi andro. So I'd probably pick up Primo too.
All right. Let's see. Let's go through. Sorry, guys, trying to get through some questions here. Let's see. Okay. So this person wants to know, they want to buy a stack they're still cutting right now. Their diet is cutting,
Mhm.
but they do want to add some extra dry size. What would you guys recommend? So you don't want to puffy. They're trying to get that kind of summer physique, but still getting some size on.
Okay, so if you want to avoid like any puffiness, obviously avoid 4 andros. Primobalin's probably the most popular 1 andro based. It's a very mild 1 andro, so you're gonna get that blend again of 1 andro, epi andro, and Primobalin. You want to stay dry as possible. I'm a huge fan of dimethazine. I think that's a real good one because it's 250 milligrams taken twice per day of an epi andro.
Mhm.
Or throwing some Trenibol in there too, because that'll really dry you up, and that's 19-nor, the enthanate form. So, I mean, just to stay lean, maybe avoid some 4 andros. If you want to maybe take one that kind of has everything in it, Methaquad, just because it does have that aromastane in there, it's going to reduce the water retention. But I'd probably go Primo and dimethazine.
If you want a little bit milder than dimethazine, I would say Winstrol.
That too, yeah.
Because Winstrol, it's dimethazine, but it's a faster acting version at 50 milligrams per tablet. So, and no, it's not the actual Winstrol, guys. We're probably gonna get that question for sure.
Oh, we always get it.
All right. Let's see. Get some more questions coming in here. So let's see. I'm taking Trenibol for the first time ever. I'm 1 week in, feeling great.
Yeah.
Could I add Halodrol the last month of the cycle?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I would, yeah, I mean, you could. You know, depending on what your goal is, if you're trying to, you know, put on some lean size, but stay lean, because that's what that Trenibol is gonna do. You definitely can do that. That'd be okay.
Is it Halodrol or?
Halodrol.
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 Okay.
Halodrol or Halodrol?
Halodrol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought? Halodrol,
Yeah.
Halodrol. Yeah, they're close.
Okay, because isn't the Halodrol 1 andro and a 4 andro?
It's pretty much 1,4, and then it's got the Rempoltin. It's a natural anabolic.
Yeah.
Carnivores and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that would be fine because it is a
Yeah.
blend of a 1 and a 4.
Right.
So you'll have maybe a little bit of water retention, but yeah, that
Slight
Trenibol,
bit, yeah.
yeah, that would
Okay.
be fine.
All right, I like this one, because I think we're all trying to be mass monsters, but Zach wants to know, like, what would your recommended, like, bulking stack? I wanna put on as much mass as possible, I'm gonna eat a lot,
Mhm.
I'm gonna lift. What are you gonna recommend, Edward?
We're looking at me, man. Again, Cessna 250 is your base. Get your calories up with Equipoise for sure. And then honestly, I would say throw in a 4 andro. I'd say brutal force maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
If you wanna get wild, throw in some Androl.
yeah, or that.
I say Androl's
honestly.
real good.
Yeah. And if you're feeling really wild, you can take 2 tablets of the Cessna 250 instead of the 1. I've had plenty of guys do that, say they actually really like that instead. Definitely wouldn't surpass 2 of them though, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this one's, we get a lot of questions about Pink Magic.
Mhm.
Love that name. Can Pink Magic be used as a PCT or does it need to be a PCT? I'm confused about that one too, because there's epiandro.
There is an epiandro, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, so, does it need a PCT?
No.
Oh, no.
No, definitely not. So when Pink Magic was developed, and we're talking back in USP Labs days, USP Labs had original methylated prohormones. They had some of the good stuff. Pink Magic was actually their PCT that was made for it. The epiandro was just thrown in there to kind of keep the whole strength aspect while you're coming off of it as well too. And then it also has it's got their testosterone in there as well too. You know what I'm saying? So you get the benefits of both and it's got estrogen in there too. They have the social estrogen in there as well, 150 milligrams. I mean that's. No, I mean, I think Pink Magic is a solid PCT, especially when it comes to being like a natural test booster as well, because you're getting the other natural anabolics in there as well too. So I mean, honestly, no, you don't need a PCT for it, and it can be used as a PCT or post PCT.
All right, okay. Again, guys, if you're looking to shop, BestPriceNutrition.com, SupplementWarehouse.com, MySupplementStore.com. Use coupon code SHOWTIME. That'll give you 20% off on all single products on the site, and it'll give you 10% off any stacks. All right, so Andriol, this is probably one of the newest high-tech prohormones. So they do market this as a testosterone replenishment type of product. You know, what are your thoughts on, you know, the long term?
There it is, it's right over there.
I'm taking, where am I at? Oh, right here. So taking this, because it is marketed to take it as a long-term prohormone. So what are your thoughts on, like, you know, is there an amount of time that we should take it? How's the PCT work with that? You know, what are your thoughts on, you know, I know we don't have too much feedback for people taking it long-term. I know you've taken it, what, 2 months?
Yeah, I took it for 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. Just because it is so new, and a lot of people still only take it for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't got a lot of feedback myself, but thoughts on long-term with that? This may be the first time you've seen this? I don't know.
In person, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it on the website a few times. I mean, it's an androstenedione, which is basically what DHA converts into in the body when it goes through the second step process. Once testosterone is converted and all that kind of stuff. So basically, this will end up converting into testosterone in the body, which is why I'm guessing it says testosterone replenishment.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think it's pretty solid for what it is. I mean, now long term, it says 1 tablet in the morning, so you're already running this alone for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Again, guys, if you wanna, it's completely up to you. We always recommend to go by what the bottle says, because obviously, you know, it's put on there for a specific reason, and you know how down to the science high-tech gets with a lot of their products. And I mean, you know, specifying with timing as well too. But again, it's up to you. If you wanna run it for a longer period of time, kinda see how you feel based off it and how it goes, go for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's one of the few that high tech has said, you know, you can take it for a long period of time. I know we had a lot of questions about the PCT afterwards, and I think, I mean, if someone takes that for, let's say 6 months, I mean, is a 1 month PCT with a Rimoplex enough?
Probably. I mean, again, if we're going to based off that, then you probably want to throw in, you want to make sure you're on top of it with your blood work and all that kind of stuff too, obviously. That's kind of the one way you'll know for sure how your body's responding to it, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And if you want to ever take anything extra on top of a Rimoplex, you could take a natural one. You know, this is one that we've been selling a lot of actually by Detox Research, the Alpha T Magnum.
Yeah.
Just because it's got the Fedosia, got Shilajit, got Tomcat Ali, you got Bovine,
There's ashwagandha.
ashwagandha, boron, which I know you're a big fan of, zinc at 50 milligrams, which is great.
Yeah,
you know.
your full daily dose.
Yeah, so this could be used on top of that, or even between cycles, if you wanted to boost your natural test levels. But Alpha T Magnum, it's great, it's a newer product, and it's packed. But that's something you could take along with the Aромaplex.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Eric said he's been using Androl for 2 months, 1 month off, done 3 runs of it. For me, it's great. So Eric's seems to be doing good results. He's taking 2 per day.
And
You
that's
took
what
2
I
per
did.
day.
I took 2 per day
Yeah.
for the full 2 months. I loved it. I thought Andrea was probably my favorite Prohormone.
Yeah.
Then, like, Carnivore.
Yeah.
I always feel like I feel really good on those.
Yeah. He got no shutdown, no side effects. He's 42, so
It's awesome.
Nice.
definitely worked great for
There you
him.
go.
Good.
Death Metal wants to know, what's a good newbie Prohormone for a cut and then for a bulk? You know, which, I guess if a single Prohormone, if someone's starting out,
Mhm.
you know, for bulking or for cutting.
So for cutting, the best one right now for a newbie is probably Prohormone. It is just the blend of the 1 andro, so that you're gonna get your 1 testosterone, and then you're getting an epi-andro along with 6 ketos, so you're gonna have 2 drying Prohormones. So that's gonna be perfect on a cut. And then bulking, Andriol would be a perfect one to
Yeah.
start. If you want something, I mean, Sustenance pretty powerful, but Andriol is a perfect one for a starter. What else we got out here? Brutal Force would be a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good one,
Because that's gonna be only 65 milligrams taken twice per day before Andriol. It's got 3 different esters in there. So, but yeah, Brutal Force or Andriol would be perfect for a starting like bulk Prohormone where you're just taking 1.
All right. Okay, let's see. We got, okay, now, so Chris wants, he's planning on taking, he's doing 3 cycles a year.
Okay.
You know, if you're doing that constantly, could that lower your overall testosterone over time?
I wanna say no, but again, everybody responds differently. And again, the way to stay on top of that is after each cycle, yeah, get your blood work done. And just kinda see how your body responded in terms of, you know, hormone wise, after each cycle. So that way you kinda know which ones you might wanna, you know, keep going with, which ones you might not wanna take anymore, and so forth, so I mean.
Yeah, I've taken these types of Prohormones probably for the last 10 years. I started getting my bloods tested at 35. That was like upper 700s at 35. Now I'm 45, I'm mid 500s. So I'm not gonna say it's because of the Prohormones, I mean, it's been a decade, you know, so I still feel pretty good in the mid 500s. I'd rather be at like 1,000, but,
Wouldn't we all?
yeah. But I think that's just over age, but it hasn't made a dramatic effect, you know, I know, you know, a lot of people I work out with, you know, at the gym are on TRT and everything, because they're lower levels, so, you know, mine have stayed high, I've taken probably 2 cycles a year for the past decade, so no problems there. Jonathan wants to know, how long between Prohormone cycles should you cycle off?
So like after post cycle?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, after post cycle, if you want to play it safe, you can take a week, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks after your post cycle. It's totally up to you. I mean, just see how you're feeling. Again, blood work is always a good way to know like where your levels are at if you want to jump on a cycle. But you know, after post cycle, to play it safe, maybe 2 weeks post cycle. I mean, there really isn't like a definitive answer on that one.
Yeah, I'm usually more conservative. Well, like yours, like if you're on for 8 weeks, along with the post cycle, off for 8 weeks, you know, so some kind of, you take your PCT.
I kind of like.
You go right in.
I stopped my PCT and 2 days later, I'm like, all right, I'm going back on.
Yeah, so talking about that, so we were discussing earlier, because he had all these great results from the
Yeah.
Jordan's cutting stack. And you told me the other day that, you know, you took your PCT and you're jumping right back
I'm
into
going
it.
right back.
Now you're going, okay, so we always recommend take what's on the bottle and, you know, don't overdo it, but let's talk, you've been doing this for a long time. He works here, he's, you know, healthy, he's drinking his greens, he's doing all that good stuff. So what's this new cycle that you're doing?
So, now, this is because I love experimenting on myself.
Okay.
That's what the human body's for, is experimenting.
All right.
Now, obviously, one of the products no one's able to get right now, but I have a special stash. I still have 1 testosterone, so I'm
Okay.
running 1 testosterone, denmethazine, Winstrol, Superstrol, and Trenibol.
Trenibol. A
Good.
lot of epi.
A lot of epi.
Now, what's your goal with this?
My goal is, so I, obviously, in my last cycle, I dropped 25 pounds. My goal is to get as purely shredded as possible.
Okay.
And obviously, with that much epi-andro, there's gonna be a lot of DHT conversion in there. So I expect to be super dry. I expect to probably have some soreness in my joints. I'm fully aware of that, but I am like very interested in trying multiple things at once to see how it affects my body and if I can get at that super shredded level. Give me your thoughts.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
What?
I'm also taking 3 dimethazine a day too, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
How many Winstrels?
The normal 3.
3?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then 2 Superdrol. So realistically, I'm getting about 1,100 milligrams of epiandro.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes. So
Wow, I feel bad for your joints too.
call this. the
Now, are you gonna
ultimate-
take any joint stuff?
Of course, yeah.
So what are you gonna
I
take?
take Supercesis from USP Labs. That's always been one of my favorite ones. I do high-tech pharmaceuticals, the turmeric as well. So we'll see how well that works. I should take collagen, but I suck at taking collagen. I hate taking collagen. I hate drinking all these different powders. I like my standard protein shake, but pretty much Supercesis is kind of like my ultimate one. And then turmeric helps with like any inflammation pain. But again, I am on, what's today, Wednesday? It's day 3. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll tell you what, I had a nasty pump at the gym yesterday from all that epiandro.
Sure.
From- like literally, tell you a Trinabol, a dimethazine, a Winstrol, and a Superdrol with one test before a chest workout yesterday. Nasty pump. Probably one of the best pumps I've ever had.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
great.
complaining about 3 weeks that my
Jeez.
joints and body hurts.
Yes, well, we'll
But
see how,
That's what, you know, that's what we're here for, is experimenting. So in 8 weeks when I'm done, we'll get before and after pics and
yep.
we'll see if I'm
yeah.
miserable or if I'm absolutely shredded.
All right, there we go, let's keep it to it, guys. Let's see, okay,
Blasted out there.
after an 8-week cycle, should they start Arimaplex the very next day?
Very next day.
Or do you wait a week or so from the
No,
detox
very-
of the Prohormone?
Very
Very
next
next
day.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These prohormones have a very short active life in the body, so and that's why they have you take 2 a day for the most part. I think, what is it, 8 hours?
It's normally
per,
less than 8
yeah,
hours, yeah.
6 to 8 hours per one. So yeah, it'll be out of your system by the next day anyway. So yeah, next day, start your PCT right away, finish it with 4 weeks, and then if you're like Jordan, you're gonna start in the hour after you finish your last tablet for Roblox. Or do it the right way. You should go off for another at least 4 weeks.
Probably.
So,
I'm optimistic. I just missed the pump. The post-cycle pump isn't the same. You know, all that epiandro I was taking the last few weeks of the last cycle.
taking
Pump was
magic.
nasty. Yeah, I
Just
could've.
look at Epi in there too.
I could've.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Just use some pump sauce.
No,
Is it-
I can't do pumps. I
No?
can't do pump sauce. No, liquid glycerol messes up my
Oh,
stomach.
does
I
it?
can't do it.
Now this one, you know, if you're looking for some great pumps, the pump sauce is good. I know they recommend 20 grams of Citrol, 2 caps of this. I've tried 2, 2's too much.
Yeah.
I've done 1 at 10, and that's some great pumps, but,
Mhm.
but it can, I mean, especially if you don't drink enough water with this,
Well, yeah.
you know, I can, cause some stomach.
Well, that's really
cramps.
the only way to get glycerol to work. You have
Yeah.
to drink a bunch of water because it's gonna literally hold
It is,
water in your muscles.
yeah.
But yeah, that's just my sensitive stomach. I take 1 cap and I spend the first 25 minutes in the bathroom at the gym. So
Yeah.
it's not worth it for me.
Okay, well, all right, let's see. Any restrictions? There's a lot of people that are on TRT.
Mhm.
Any restrictions in terms of, you know, if someone's trying to bulk? I mean, I was always questioning whether, you know, if you're trying to bulk, you're on TRT already, would it make sense to take testosterone 250 because that converts to testosterone, or do you take something like a 19 NOR on top of it?
I would probably go with like a 19 NOR, or a different compound compared to one of the normal, you know, andro bases, or the test bases, should I say. Like I used to have a lot of guys who were on TRT would come in here and they're like, yeah, my doctor prescribed me TRT. They're like, but I want something a little bit more, to me push with like strength and size, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, they would try something else. Like I've had a couple guys who would come here and get Banabol, or Anavar, Equipoise was another one. Yeah, I mean, you can go with compounds like that if you wanted to, if you're on TRT. So again, it's again, just like how Jordan said it, it's experimenting. You know, so you just gotta see what really works for you.
Yep.
And yeah,
All right. Can a beginner take halotestin with a 1-andro or an epiandro? Yeah, so halotestin along with, well, 1-andro is gonna be tough to get, so halotestin along with epiandro. Any problems with that for a beginner?
So halotestin has epiandro in it already.
Okay.
I think there's a bottle over there of it. Yeah, so halotestin has the 3 beta hydroxy. It also has the 17 beta in there. So honestly, it's if you're a beginner, this is a perfect standalone product.
So just take
on
those.
its own. Yeah, just take on its own. So yeah, you wouldn't need any excess like Winstrol or dimethazine. You're a beginner. You want to try something. Halotestin's actually, I mean, a solid beginner's formula.
Okay, and if somebody wanted to take it a step further, anything you recommend with halotestin?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to cut, you'll get a little bit of that water retention from that. But you'll have it cut with the epiandro, maybe throw in a Winstrol or like a Trenbolone in there, or
Okay.
any of the decas, Decabolin, Decadurabolin, just depending on what your goal is.
Okay. Best replacement for Superdrol?
Probably Halodrol.
Halodrol?
Halodrol,
So they were very similar compound,
Yeah.
ingredient list.
because like Superdrol was a 1 in 4, which is the same thing as the Halodrol.
Yeah.
Superdrol had turt in it,
Right.
but
Let's have the 6-oxo too, right?
it had
Yeah.
6-oxo
Yeah.
in there. But the Halodrol is the 1 in 4, and I can never pronounce the Repultin.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The Repultin or the Recomium?
It's RHAMP something.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatnot, which is a natural anabolic. It's in the ectosterone family. So Halodrol would be a perfect option.
Yeah. Now, could you add, because I think the Trenbolol is the only other prohormone that has the 6-oxo.
in there.
Could you stack those two together?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, does Monsterplex need a PCT, and what are your thoughts on it?
So yeah, Monsterplex is like absolutely needs a PCT. But Monsterplex is like an all-in-one. They call it the ultimate anabolic because it has not only prohormones but plant anabolics in there too. So I mean, you're getting a 1-andro, 4-andro. I believe there's an epiandro in there as well too. But you got like the plant-based anabolics like the diosterol in there. You got lexogenin in there. I mean, geez, you got turkesterone in there. So I mean, it's a perfect standalone product on its own. It absolutely needs a PCT, and it's definitely if you're trying to put on some weight and size, that's a really good one to go with.
I think I have one guy I've talked to a few times, he stacks Halodrol and Monsterplex together,
Good
which is
lord.
crazy.
Nice.
Good
And
lord.
He's going Jordan level right
I
there.
say I can't even be like
Yeah,
good lord,
seriously,
I'm like,
after today, dude.
I'm literally a pro-hormone psychopath now. It's okay, I knew what I was getting into.
All right, LG Sciences, we never talk about them that much.
We don't.
Yeah, are they any good? Thoughts on, like this, the kits,
Mhm.
a lot of those I recommend to newer people because it kind of gives you the directions on how to do it.
Right.
It's like an intro.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think the standalones, would you say they're maybe more pushed towards beginners because they're lower dose, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good starter, just depending on what you're doing, like a cutting or a bulking kit, because it does give the full breakdown of, on the back of the box, of how many times you take it, when to take it, when's the best time to take it. It's like what's it funny?
No, she's just complaining about my energy drink.
Oh, whatever.
It's late, we've been here since 7.
It's never too late, guys.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, it's a perfect, because it's, everything with the LG Sciences is very like mild dosed. So with, obviously with your trifecta kits or your battle hardeners or your bulking or your cutting, there's something for everything, whether you're looking to recomp, cut, bulk. It gives you the exact directions of how to take it, comes with a PCT. I will tell you though, if you're gonna run a full 8-week cycle, you're gonna need 2 kits, because it does say 6-week cycle. However, it's only 4 weeks of prohormones with a 2-week PCT.
Yeah.
So you will need 2 full kits to make a full
And
cycle.
then you save the Form XT
Yes,
PCT
you
for
save-
both kit for the end.
For the,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
What's nice about them too, sorry, I mean,
Yep.
kind of to add about it. What's nice about the kits is after you finish them, and say if you wanted to switch over to any of the high-tech or Blackstone Labs ones, you'll kind of know which compounds you like better. So for example, if they like 1-andro is better, they can go with, any of the ones that are 1-andro, similar to that. And then even the other active ingredients that are in there as well. Like for example, that bulking andro kit has the 1MD, 4-andro, and the 1-andro. Now you know, okay, so 1MD, I'm guessing it's an androsterone.
I believe it is. It's always different. Yeah, it is. 3-beta hydroxy.
Oh yeah, so it's the epi-andro,
Yeah.
the 1-andro, and a 4-andro. So you're literally, at that point, you know exactly what you're gonna get
Trust your
afterwards.
ideas. I believe that's.
So that is an androsterone as well too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so from there, again, you'll be able to try out the high-tech ones as well, and see which one you might like best from there on, basically, so.
Okay. Can I take Dianabol for 8 weeks, then a PCT for 8 weeks, then hop on another prohormone? just taking Dianabol, I wouldn't imagine you need 8-week PCT.
You don't need an
No.
8-week PCT,
No.
you need a 4-week PCT, and
4-week,
I
yeah.
wouldn't take Dianabol on its own. Probably one of the most popular stacks with Dianabol that we see is probably Anavar. Anavar works really well, just because the Anavar, you get a 1 andro, you get a 4 andro, you get an epi, and then you throw in the 1-4, that'd be a nice, like, lean muscle mass stack, but you don't really need PCT for 8 weeks. 4 weeks is perfectly
4
fine.
weeks, yeah. And the Dianabol is one of the few that you have to need 3 bottles for an 8-week
Yes,
stack.
because it is only a 20-day
Yes,
cycle.
yes.
There's a lot of fillers in Dianabol, it's predominantly like a 1-4 andro based, but there's a lot of other random stuff in there that really
Yeah.
doesn't do much. It's predominantly like the Equipoise. I honestly preferably just do Equipoise instead.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay. What's drier, would you say, Halodrol or Anavar?
Probably Anavar,
Carnivore for sure.
because it has an epi in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's got lisogenin in it too. It's
Yeah,
got-
plus
it's
you
got
get all the-
creatine and-
You get all the nitric oxides in there too,
Yeah.
the nitrates, you get the creatine nitrate that's in there as well too, so, yeah, definitely. In terms of dryness, filling out as well too, I think Carnivore is a great, I think that one's better than Illadrol for sure.
All right. Okay, for bulk and keepable gains, would you recommend Sustanon 250 or Primobolan? I think that's kind of easy.
I'd say Sustanon.
So
Primobolan's a cut.
Yeah, yep. Sustanon 250, great product. All right, what's a good stack to put on mostly dry mass?
Mostly dry mass.
Yes.
Just, yeah, obviously stay away from 4 andros if you want to stay completely dry. I would run Primo, which is your 1 andro and your epi andro. Depends on how dry you want to go. If you want to go super dry, throw in dimethazine. If you want to go mild dryness, throw in Linstrol. Maybe throw in a little Trenibol in there too if you want to throw in a flavor.
Okay. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see, I have to look at the ingredients, so one gentleman's wanting to know, Engorge by High Tech, which we don't hear too much about.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that for pumps? I know it's, you know, I've got a bottle at home that I usually take on the weekends.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at the actual ingredients lately.
Tablets are huge.
Yeah,
First
yeah,
off,
yes.
and this might be really weird, but one way I've found to kind of get it down a little bit easier is let them sit in your mouth for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So it starts, it's gonna taste
Something.
so chalky and horrible, but they're so much easier to get down afterwards. I actually like it though.
Yeah.
I'll do 4 tablets, and yeah, no, pump's great off them, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got beetroot in there. It's
Yeah.
got pine bark, grapeseed extract,
Glycerol.
Yeah, glycerol.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's definitely like a replacement because I know High Tech stopped making the Hemobol tablets. They only do the powder now. So we've actually had a lot of people ask about the Hemobol tablets. So if you're someone who really loved the Hemobol tabs and you don't like the powder, like Engorge Extreme is a perfect like alternative to it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that one's on sale for 20% off too. Just use coupon code SHOWTIME. Yeah, I like this, I used, when I was taking Mesomorph more frequently, I used to stack that with Mesomorph. It was just phenomenal workouts. Okay, so what's the difference between Super DMZ, the old dimethazine, versus the now dimethazine?
Well,
There's a lot.
yeah, big difference.
I mean, yeah, I remember the Super DMZ, was that Blackstone or was that Iron Mag?
Iron Mac had the original one,
Yeah,
and Blackstone
Blackstone.
came with theirs too.
Yeah, yeah, that was all the methylated stuff, I mean, yeah, we kind of talked about it at the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
the differences between those two, you can kind of rewind and see, but yeah, there are a lot of differences between.
Yeah.
These are much safer, let's just say that. Let's see, Trenibol stacked with brutal force, and if I don't run a PCT with testosterone, go back to baseline over time. I don't know why you would.
Just run a PCT.
Yeah. You're investing so much, like, you're already investing like 8 weeks
Yeah.
into a cycle. I mean, just do it right the whole
Run a
way, you know?
PCT.
Yeah. But Trenibol and brutal force, thoughts on that?
You could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, basically, I mean, it's a 19-NOR. It's a super fast-acting, dry form of the 19-NOR. So you could do that because brutal force is going to be a very mild 4-andro.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually did a video on this, but, Novadex versus Arimoplex for your PCT. I recall that Novadex was more estrogen.
It is like
Focus.
purely like estrogen
It's
blocking.
a form of a SERM,
Yeah.
basically, so, SERM, not SARM, SERM is a selective estrogen receptor modulator, so basically it will bind to the estrogen receptors themselves and completely block out any type of conversion of estrogen from anything, basically. Not exactly like aromatase inhibitors. Aromatase inhibitors stop the aromatization process, by blocking that one specific enzyme, SARMs will completely block the receptor itself.
No. So where would you, where does Novodex fit in terms of, is it a PCT, is it on cycle, is it standalone? When would you recommend taking that product?
I would say PCT for sure. So if you kind of want to mix things up a little bit, if you don't want to go with like an aromaplex for example, and again, this is where blood work actually comes into play a lot. Because if you get your blood work done after or like right before you finish your prohormone cycle, and you kind of see that you have slightly higher elevated estrogen, I feel like that's where you want to kind of throw in the Novodex XT, and then probably pair it with a natural test booster. So you're kind of getting very similar effects to aromaplex, but again, you're blocking the whole estrogen conversion while getting your natural test levels back to normal base, basically, or keeping them high at least. So.
Okay. All right, let's see. Is a PCT required for Halodrol? Of course, yes, we recommend a PCT for Halodrol.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let me get some of these previous, keep the questions coming in, I'm just gonna go through some of these,
But Novodex versus Arimaplex versus Hard Target. Someone's asking about PCTs.
Oh, so Hard Target then too.
So Hard Target is like,
I don't think you know that product, do you?
I remember Pollen.
so
Yeah.
it's still the same. It's just called Anarchy Labs, just another sister company of
Okay.
Pollen. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have a bottle in front of me, but off the top of my head, Tom Valley, it's got Shilajit in there. It's got 100 milligrams of aromatase in there. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
it is, it's, again, back to your point about blood work, it would be a perfect PCT if your estrogen levels were really high, because 100 grams of aromatase, I don't even like taking 100 milligrams of aromatase. If I was doing like during my post cycle and I was taking aromatase, I was only doing like 25 milligrams like every day or every other day, because it's just, I wasn't having high estrogen side effects.
You get some DIM and some Shilajit too.
Jim, yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
Shilajit,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, you're getting DIM, which is gonna help with, reduce some estrogen, but it's a
Mhm.
lot of aromatase, so that would be like, yeah, like Edwin says, if you've gotten your blood work done and your estrogen levels are high, that would be a perfect PCT to go with.
Going along with that, someone's asking, would DIM help well on cycle?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Does that help balance hormones, or is it strictly just focused around estrogen?
It's specifically estrogen, but it helps the I forgot which form of estrogen, not your E2. It helps with your, oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
It's all right, well, it helps with one of them, right?
Yeah, there's
Yes.
3 of them specifically that your
Okay.
body focuses on, but yeah, it helps with one of them specifically.
All right, let's see, and with estrogen, I know we had a lot of people worried about gyno, or anything, they're about to take like maybe a 4-andro bulking cycle, they're worried about gyno. Taking something like a arimistane on cycle, is it something that they should just take right off the bat, or do you wait until, you've got kind of some side effects that may be estrogen related? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
For me personally, again, each person's gonna be different, because you could have little Sammy over there who just took their first pill of Andriol, and he's got nipple sensitivity the next day, where me, I'm taking it and I don't have any problems at all. Realistically, if you're running anything with a 4-andro, I always recommend buying a arimistane, just because it's always good to have on hand in case you start experiencing some side effects of, water retention. But I'm talking like massive water retention. You wake up and your face is super puffy. You got mood swings, acne, things like that. That would be a good time to take arimistane. And realistically, taking a pill every day or every other day till those side effects really reduce is all I would recommend. I don't like taking arimistane every day, because we do, as men, unfortunately, we still have to have some form of estrogen. That we have to. We can't.
You don't wanna crash it for no
Right,
reason,
right.
right?
Yeah, you can't get rid of your estrogen. You do need that balance still.
I think there is some confusion that people do think that they don't want any estrogen.
Yeah,
Gotta
no,
stay away
you
from it.
have to have.
Even to build muscle, no, your body still needs a healthy amount of estrogen.
Mhm.
So
Yes, okay. Let's see, new formula. Do you guys know, Mondo wants to know about the animal test, the new formula, is it worth it versus the old formula? I'm not sure I know.
I haven't even looked at the.
Yeah, I
new
haven't,
formula.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, we don't sell a lot of
No,
animal.
realistically, like animal, I mean, our most popular thing is the animal pack, just because that's the best multivitamin out there.
Yeah.
But there, I mean, there's like the M stack and the stack and the TNT and the animal test.
Yeah.
I haven't necessarily looked at the new formula, but it's normally with the animal products, if I'm gonna recommend something, it's the animal pack. Otherwise, I normally go high tech when it goes to hormone related.
Yeah, testosterone 21's a great,
Yeah.
product, or cholesterol.
Yeah, I mean, you got Test 21, like a real good, like nice, natural testosterone support, like stack. I like these Apex Male and Test 21 because they kind of complete each other with, Test 21, you got Tongan Ali and Fedoja, ashwagandha and zinc. In Apex Male, you got your maca, your bulbine, your tribulus. It's got DIM in there too as well. So they kind of work hand in hand with each other.
All right, let's see, Death Metal has another question. Can beginners take halotestin or Monsterplex since they're not as suppressive, but would you recommend either of those for beginners?
Halotestin would be better
Yeah.
for a beginner than Monsterplex. Monsterplex definitely more of a intermediate experienced, expert type prohormone. So I'd probably start with halotestin.
Mhm.
All right, what do you guys think of Brutal Force and Abnormal and Superstrol and Eradicate? Too much, okay for a stack?
Brutal Force, you said Brutal Force, Abnormal,
And Superstrol.
I don't think you would, I mean, you can have Eradicate just because that is, Arimistane and a few other things in there just to have on hand, but realistically, I mean, Brutal Force, a mild 4-andro, so, Deca, obviously, not Deca, Abnormal is Deca, and Superstrol being the epi, you could absolutely do that. You're gonna put on some lean muscle mass and have reduced water retention with that epi-andro. But Eradicate, it wouldn't be something that I'd be taking daily, only if I'm having like high estrogen side effects.
Yeah. All right, which form of creatine would you recommend?
Monohydrate.
Yeah, we have a lot of forms of it now too. I mean, everybody in the office is eating these damn Smash creatine gummies. I mean, I think I've got one, John I know loves these. We got Heather eating these every once in a while,
Take your powder.
Yes, but, yeah, you can do your powder, we got tablets, but if you want, some gummies at the end of the night as well,
Nice
these-
little snack.
yeah, these have 5 grams of creatine per serving. They taste delicious. And right now, I guess with coupon code Showtime, you get 20% off these, so.
We got the concrete if people want the HCl as well.
Oh, concrete, yes, yep.
My personal favorite, actually.
So your personal favorite.
Yeah, no, I can't do monohydrate.
Your stomach?
No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it
Yeah.
is with glycerol, that's how I'm with monohydrate.
So
You
I'll
had
tell
a
you.
low dose?
Dude, 3 grams will mess me up.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was taking 15 grams of creatine for a while daily. I ended up bumping it back down to 10 because as I've lost weight and stuff, I've noticed when I was taking 15, it started messing up my stomach.
Oh, yeah, 15
Yeah.
was way too much for me.
Yeah. But-
Because and everybody's gonna say, you were showing you taking 5 grams, but the new research that's come out, based on your weight, you can kind of step that up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of new
benefits.
studies too, obviously, for creatine. It's always been muscle related, stamina, recovery, but there's a lot of benefits for brain health too as well, especially with things like Alzheimer's. So, but yeah, there's a lot of new studies showing, based off certain weight points, how much creatine you should be taking. And yeah, when I was 200 plus pounds, 15 grams was a sweet spot. But as I've gotten down to 200, 199, 198, taking 15 grams, my stomach did not agree with it. So bumping it down to 10, I've been fine so far.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, we got tons of, we got the creatine HCl, High Tech Pharmaceuticals has those in tablet form, I think.
Yeah, so High Tech has
Or
the creatine
nitrates.
nitrate, and then
Nitrates,
they
yeah.
have capsule HCl version.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're someone who no matter what you take with monohydrate, it messes up your stomach, just grab an HCl. Go with the High Tech, or if you want gummies, the concrete ones, but HCl will work just fine.
Do you guys, NutriBio Build, do you remember what's in that?
Can you pull it up? I don't know if there still is. I think it might have had Laxogen in there at one point.
Let's see.
I know it's an expensive product.
Yeah, it was very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, $70. Let's see. So it's got,
Apigenin, slide up. There you go. Oh, mediator, phosphoric acid,
Yeah.
choline. Here's what I want you to do. Go buy a bottle of Targasterone from $6.50 from High Tech.
Yeah.
It's overall, I mean, I'm sure it's a great product. $70 is expensive.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
Or a bottle of Laxogenin for $34.95. Yeah, that's it.
And you're testing on a new one that we just, or, I don't think it's on the website yet, that you're,
So, yeah, one that I would like to, I don't know if you've ever seen the NPC 185.
The what?
NPC 185. You can look into it, it's a peptide.
Okay.
Dialeucine. It's one that I just bought that I'm doing some more research into it. So I think definitely after I run that for a while, we'll definitely do a video on that one.
okay. We brought it in to be, what, tomorrow?
Oh, it's on the site now.
It's on the
You
site.
guys probably have it like.
Yeah, we just got it in. And what's it called again?
It's Competitive Edge Labs NPC 157.
Yeah.
It's an ultra light filtered, try to explain it the best I can because I'm still researching on it, but it's a form of leucine, it's a peptide form of leucine. And it's an
Is it
extreme.
Hiccup?
It's not hiccup.
No?
I'll show it to you after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have you take a look, because there was actually a 10-week study on it, actually done with, a placebo versus people who were actually taking it for 10 weeks, and the guys who took it for 10 weeks, their protein synthesis levels spiked like 157%.
Wow.
The average, their weights went up on average like 10 to 15 pounds over the course of 10 weeks and stuff. It was actually like a really cool study. So
Nice.
we just got it in. I just bought a bottle, so I'm gonna start taking it tomorrow and try 10 weeks and see and document how my weights go up with it. So I'll show it to you after. It's considered actually a peptide.
Oh, nice.
But back to your original switch, Turkisteron 650, absolute
Yeah.
that's my favorite
Yeah.
non-hormonal muscle builder. I take 4 tabs a day
Yeah.
when I was doing it, but man, that stuff, I just felt great on it.
Yeah.
It's just-
Laxogen's good. Turkisteron's good. I do
You
like
love
Laxogen.
Laxogen.
I know.
My absolute favorite. 7 years straight.
Yeah, and you can take it that long.
You can, yeah. Think about it.
Yeah, I know.
200 mgs a day.
That's how much you're taking? 3 tabs, right?
Yeah.
The Laxogen 100. Yep. All right, Pink Magic as a PCT stacked with a Rimoplex after a Monsterplex cycle.
Wait, what is he
So
gonna
he took Monsterplex for 8 weeks.
Okay.
Plans doing his PCT, a Rimoplex, and Pink Magic.
Perfect, fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I would say that's good.
Okay, there you go, trend guy. Let's see, okay, this is a common question. Do I need to take a liver RX or any type of liver supplement if I'm doing a pro-hormone cycle?
Yeah, realistically, no, you don't have to, because prohormones are not methylated, so they're no longer toxic. I always recommend a liver product, especially too as you get older too, things happen, organs get stressed out. The liver is the most important organ in the body that processes everything, so it's always good to have some sort of liver protection. Liver RX from High Tech is good. I really like Blackstone Labs Gear Support. I think that's one of the better formulas. I don't think we have it here too, but Formutech, which is a High Tech brand as well, has the liver restore.
Yeah,
which is
I like that
another
one.
really solid
Yeah.
liver
That's a
support
sleeper.
formula.
I always
It is,
forget about
yeah.
that one,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
really good blend in there.
Every one of those is a good option. If you want to go the cheaper option, Liver RX works perfect. Or, Formutech, the liver support or the gear support is an awesome one.
Okay, let's see, I've heard that taking 1 or 2 months off from all supplements every year is a good thing for your body. Do you agree with that? What you recommend? Do you ever take a break? I wish I'd say I did.
I say it depends on what you're taking.
I was about to say, yeah.
Like on vacation, maybe I'll stop, but.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
take mine with me.
Do you?
Yeah.
your multivitamins, your minerals, all that stuff, anything you take for whatever you're having, blood sugar related, heart problems, anything, you should take those no matter what. You shouldn't take a break from any because the, multivitamins, minerals, those are all essential things that you need on a daily basis. Your zincs, your magnesium, most people are deficient in magnesium anyway, so you wouldn't want to take a break. But something like a pre-workout that, you get to a point where you're double scooping amped or you're taking 800 milligrams of caffeine per day, eventually, your body's gonna get used to it. So something like caffeine or stimulants is always good to take a break. and maybe take something like an adrenal product, Blackstone Labs Adrenal Care is perfect because likelihood is if you're downing 800 milligrams to a full gram of caffeine per day, your adrenal glands are in the toilet. So yeah, which you don't want because that's gonna spike cortisol, stress, your body's gonna have a hard time losing weight, you're gonna be holding a lot of water retention, you're just, your sleep's gonna be off, and it's probably, you know, most people's sleep is probably off a bit, but sleep is probably the most important thing when it comes to recovery. So pretty much if you're gonna take a break from something, to get back to my point, is probably like stimulants, pretty much.
And sleep is something that's really important. You know, people ask, you know, we get calls on the phone about sleep supplements all the time. And usually recommend, if you haven't taken some Automax, that's gonna knock you.
Yeah, so Somatomax and like Anesthetized from Blackstone Labs, because they both feature phenibut, are extremely strong. I like, so there was one, the first one I was taking from SNS Growth Factor was a really good one that I liked. The one I'm taking now, I think you like Blackstone Labs Growth. That's probably the best one that I've had so far. I knock out on that one and I sleep all night. Somatomax and Anesthetized is really powerful. If you know, if you're gonna pick that one up, I'd start with a half scoop because phenibut is strong. It's a little addicting, so it's probably something I wouldn't even use every day. I'd use every 2 days on, 2 days off. But Blackstone Labs Growth, I love that one. That's definitely probably my favorite sleep formula.
Okay, oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, strong stuff. Let's see, Daryl wants to know, can I take Turkisterone 650 at any time, even on a bulking or cutting cycle? Or if they're taking Turkisterone on, by itself, is there any recommended stack?
Yeah, I mean, you can take it with Prohormones, you can take it with PCT, that's what I did. If you're gonna stack it and you know, you stay completely natural, Turkisterone and Laxogenin is a really good one. Turkisterone, you know, Ectosten is a good one. I like Turkisterone and Laxogenin is probably the best like natural muscle builders.
Yeah, those are two good ones.
Yeah.
I usually save it till, I guess, the PCT, because I still wanna get, even if it's in your head, you wanna feel like, you know, you get off that Prohormone,
You wanna feel like
you're like,
taking something, yeah.
oh god, it's over. The good feelings are gone.
It's a depressing moment.
Yes, so if you could take like, you know, you jump on that PCT, take something like Turkisterone along with it,
Yeah.
at least you're still kind of building it naturally, so. All right, would Winstrol stack better with one test, Decadurabolin or dimethazine?
With Winstrol?
Winstrol.
I would say one test.
Yeah, but sorry,
One.
unless you have a secret stash of one test,
Yeah.
where are you gonna get that one?
Yeah. Next best.
Primo, right?
Primo.
Yeah,
Primo.
yeah.
Okay.
Primo, as of right now, until we have this whole one andro, until chosen one comes back, Primo is your best option to get the closest to a standalone one andro.
Okay. After a mid-size cut light bulk, I want to then target more of a cut. Better to take halotestin by itself.
Can you start over on that one? I get lost.
How, what?
Okay, following up, Daryl's just following up.
Okay.
He, after a mid-size cut or a light bulk, he wants to target cutting more fat.
Okay, okay.
Is it better to take halotestin by itself? Can he take halotestin by itself? I'm not sure if this is after a cycle. Maybe Daryl, you can kind of, you know, he's asking about this Turkisterone 650 as well. I mean, if he was trying to cut, could he take halotestin and Turkisterone 650 together?
If he's trying to cut,
I'd say Primobolan and
Yeah.
Testosterone.
yeah. If you were gonna do halotestin, like you're dead set on halotestin, throw in another epi in there too, because the epi in halotestin is pretty mild. If you're like, I really wanna cut, do like dimethazine or Superdrol, because Superdrol is 100 milligrams of the epi-andro. If you wanna go mild, throw in Winstrol instead.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, product we haven't talked about, Halo Elite, taking that along with testosterone 21, along with a Rimaplex, is that a good PCT?
Yeah. Yeah, because Halo Elite is, you come into almanoids, so that's something, and it's a natural anabolic that binds with your androgen receptors. It's also really good for your sexual drive as well. That's actually something that I'd want to start taking, because people who I've talked to who take Halo Elite, one of the biggest things that I hear is like insane pumps during their workout, like the muscle dense, the hardness that they get from it. So it's definitely something I'm interested in trying out.
All right, Okay, this is a question we get a lot. Do prohormones show up on drug tests?
I don't think so.
I've never had somebody, I've had people question it, police, military.
Yeah.
I think, NCAA has their own strict rules.
Well, yeah, the NCAA
Yeah.
is, I mean, most things are frowned upon in the NCAA. I had a conversation with a gentleman a couple weeks ago saying his son wanted to take Prohormones, but he was in, he plays college football.
Yeah.
And I mentioned, I'm like, well, they do drug tests and stuff. He's like, oh no, he's in Division III. I'm like, I know, but the NCAA is
Yeah.
the same across every single division, so it's a very strict. I think in the time that I've been here, we've been asked that 1,000 times, but I don't think I've ever come across anyone who said that they popped for anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that I've ever heard popping was like 1,3 popping up as an amphetamine on the drug test, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you also have to remember, they're not really testing for that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're testing more for like other
Crack.
drugs. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Like your job isn't gonna, your
Right.
job at Amazon is not gonna test you for PEDs. Anything they want you to be on PEDs.
You can
click
keep
any
going,
box.
yeah, seriously.
All right, and we haven't talked too much about this, and I don't like to get too much into it, but we do get a lot of questions about SARMs versus prohormones. I tell people stay away from the SARMs. We had a discussion about this earlier, about staying away from SARMs. You never know where the hell those are coming from, if they're made in somebody's garage, but what's the actual difference between the two?
So SARMs, certain SARMs actually do bind to the androgen receptors, and actually do cause quite a bit of suppression of your natural testosterone levels. So those, for example, like something like the question we got earlier, the enclomiphene, for example,
Yeah.
that is something you want to use as a PCT for a SARM, for example. But so like safety wise, yeah, as you were just saying, to be honest, safety wise, prohormone is going to be the much better choice. And then honestly, even in terms of effectiveness and long-term effectiveness, I honestly think prohormones are going to be a better choice too. Because even when again, your organs can also play a huge role in how your body actually looks. So if your organs aren't feeling right, and a lot of times SARMs can cause that to happen, your body's not going to look right. Whereas, again, prohormones, especially these ones, again, they're DHEA based. Something your body naturally produces, all you're doing is just boosting up that natural effect from what's going on. Whereas SARMs, you're gonna have certain ones shut you down, and then coming off, you're gonna feel even worse. So, play it safe, guys, play it right, get prohormones.
I agree, yeah. Too many kids, I call them kids, but teenagers just.
SARM goblins?
Oh, we're at 140, they're like 16, 17 years old. It's
Do they
just
have
like-
the broccoli hair and poop earrings
Yeah,
at the
they
same
do.
time?
And then we're not saying anything bad about that, but,
Slippers?
yeah, but
Are you a broccoli head?
you're not at the gym. Yeah, there are people, it's like you wear slippers, at the gym, but yeah.
Do they bring their tripod with them too?
No, but it's just, the big issue is like, there is one kid at my gym, huge. He's like 16 years old, his buddies told me he's taking Rad 140. He's like, oh, no, Rad 140 is safe, it's not gonna cause any problems. I'm like, you're
Who likes you?
16? Yeah, exactly. You gotta be careful with this stuff. I mean, I know it's all over social media, but yeah, okay. I digress. Okay, Rusty is new to prohormones. Hopefully you're older, and not new at 16 years old. Which, before I go there, age-wise, prohormones, minimum age,
21.
21, yeah, and I think they work better the older that you get too.
Yeah.
I found, again, I'm in my 40s, I found that they work better, since I've been taking them for about a decade, they seem to work better as I've gotten older, so, but he's new,
He's 40, by the way.
he's 40, okay, awesome. Anavar or Haladrol, since one test is gone, that he should start out with.
So what's the goal?
Yeah, I guess, what's your goal? Because Haladrol would be good if you're trying to put on a little bit more size. Anavar, again, is gonna be lean muscle mass, but it does have, some of the nitric oxide support, the epiandra one there. I realistically, if it's your first time taking it, I try Anavar. I think Anavar is a solid formula.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And again, all the new people, supplementwarehouse.com, BestPriceNutrition.com, mysupplementstore.com. use coupon code SHOWTIME. That's gonna give you 20% off everything, 10% off stacks. So that's available all night for you. If you haven't yet, can you throw in the link, I don't know, at BestPriceNutrition.com /Showtime. If you go there, enter in your email address, you're gonna be entered to win a lot of these goodies here. We got pre-workouts, we got Nutrex Animal Hardcore, which is one of the most popular new products out. The big spender tonight, whoever spends the most is going to get this box of cookies and cream Bear Bells. And Jordan, right from his hidden stash, is gonna give you
I know.
the
I'm so upset.
Andrew
I have
Dial.
Andrew Dial,
Andrew Dial.
probably the last known bottle in existence. I own it,
Yes.
and I'm
You're gonna
giving
get
it to
that,
you.
yeah.
for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
not for free, you gotta spend money to get it.
yes, if you're the big spender, you're gonna be nice surprised when we ship out your order and you get these two things in there for you. But a lot of other people, we got some smelling salts, we got, some NutriBio, this is a big bottle.
So I'll tell you right now,
This is good.
this pre-workout that NutriBio just dropped, now this is the stim version, I use the non-stim. That is the best pump product that I've
It's
probably ever
crazy.
had.
It's-
Oh yeah, it's
10 grams of citrulline, right?
10 grams of
Yes.
citrulline,
Yeah.
there's 3 forms of arginine in there, there's electrolytes, there's betaine in there. I mean, I'm on my second tub of that, and that is my absolute favorite non-stim pre-workout. They have a stim-based one, which I believe, Jeff, how much caffeine is in that one? Because I really looked at 300.
350.
350, which is a good higher stim pre-workout, but yeah, that 10 grams of citrulline in there with, again, it's got 3 forms of arginine. It is the best,
Yes.
non-stim pump that I've ever had.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it in the office and it's all gone.
Yeah.
I think it's just for me and you. but-
Oh yeah, no, it's gone.
John, do you like it? Did you take it at all?
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you what, at our brick and mortar stores, that's our #1 seller right
Yeah.
now. I've had to reorder the entire brand of pre-workout flavor wise probably 5 times in the past
Yeah,
month.
it's crazy.
It's
It's
really
really
good,
good,
yeah.
yeah. All right, we want to say hi to Maurice is watching tonight.
Oh, he's
Hey.
Maurice watching.
Yeah, Maurice is the guy that's in the back packing all your orders
Little
for you.
swag.
He should be back here at the office right now, working an overnight or packing these orders out for you.
Yeah, right.
He'll be back in the morning, so, let's see, okay, Charles wants to know, if I am on TRT, oh, this is a good question. If he's on TRT and he's doing a cycle, as well, pro-hormone cycle, does he need to really take a PCT? Because he's still continuing his TRT.
So, this is where I'm gonna say no. Because, well, again, always check your blood work at the same time. If you are on TRT, you actually should be checking your blood work consistently. See where everything looks. So depending on what you take especially, monitor your estrogen levels. That's gonna be the only thing I'd say for that specifically. Because, yeah, if you're on TRT, then you don't have to worry about the small bit of suppression or anything like that, because your test levels are still gonna be elevated no matter what. But yeah, just monitor your estrogen levels, make sure those are still in check, they're not too high by the end of the cycle. But yeah, I think in terms of, generally speaking, you probably wouldn't.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we normally tell people, but there's always some confusion. And I don't want to recommend something that's well, the doctor said this, he's gonna know the most.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't imagine because you're always concerned about that drop if you don't take that PCT afterwards,
Yeah.
but you're getting the testosterone.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
All right. Okay, so, so this person wants to know, would you say right now is the most popular pro-hormone? Not including one test, which is gone.
Now, do we want to include the very, the one that we sell the most of right now?
Probably the most popular, yeah,
The one we sell the most of is Animal right now.
Animal.
That is the most popular one.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be Halodrol.
Alright.
And then number 3 right now is either Decadurabolin or Andriol.
Right.
But Carnivore is our #1 seller right now, every single week.
Carnivore
We
is,
probably
okay.
do, God, damn near 150 bottles a week of
Yeah,
Carnivore at
yeah.
this point now.
Okay.
It originally was one test. It was one test, it was Superdrol, and then it was Carnivore.
Yep.
Obviously, with one test and Superdrol being gone, Carnivore's taken over the #1.
Okay, there you go. All right, okay, this is a good question. How long is it normal to see results from a pro-hormone? I got a buddy that says he sees it in 3 or 4 days.
Mhm.
I don't believe him, but what's,
Jealous?
huh?
You jealous?
Yeah, he's pretty jacked, but I still don't think 3 or 4 days,
So from my personal experience, the last cycle that I did, Usually first couple weeks, I notice some strength gains that might be placebo in my head, thinking like, oh yeah, I'm on Prohormones. But it normally, again, building muscle is time consuming. Don't expect to put 10, 15 pounds on, right away. Obviously, diet and sleep and everything play a huge factor, especially sleep. Sleep is the most important thing when it comes to building muscle and recovery. If you're sleeping 4 to 6 hours a night, sorry, you're gonna have trouble building some muscle. But normally, 3 to 4 weeks, you start seeing some minor changes. Always that second month, especially like the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the cycle is really when I see the most amount of energy, strength, aggression in the gym. It's always that second half of the cycle.
Okay. And kind of talking about muscle building while on cycle, you always want to increase your protein intake. And 2 flavors that we got in that are just killing it online right now.
Yeah.
By Precision Protein. This one's going crazy. The banana split ice cream sundae.
Yeah, we just got that one
Yes,
the other day.
and we sell a ton of it. That's a crazy
sounds
flavor.
amazing.
So
Yes.
from what I've heard from my rep at High Tech, he said that is the best flavor that he's ever had, and I'm gonna have to end up buying one next week when I get paid.
And then the other one is John's favorite, which is
Horchata.
horchata.
Yum.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, who has my horchata tub? Because it's missing.
I don't know. I had to look
Things,
it up.
things seem to make
Because
their way to Jeff's
there's
office.
not an horchata tub in my office anymore, which is mine.
I wasn't, I like
meant to
sitting,
ask
but,
that.
yeah.
Because I'm missing a horchata tub.
Yes, but those 2 flavors are going crazy. So
Yeah.
you're looking for some
Everyone in chat's saying open up the that tub of the banana split.
You know what? They're smart. Then they'll sample it out and give it to me after.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We haven't done a video on it. We'll do one tomorrow. We'll open
Yeah.
it up and we'll test it out.
Yeah, we'll do a video review,
Yeah.
but if you're looking for something good, tonight, 20% off, Precision Protein, banana split.
'Cause I'm assuming
coupon
it's-
code Showtime.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not just a banana protein. I'm assuming it's straight up banana, chocolate, and
Yeah.
strawberry vanilla ice cream. So
God, that sounds great.
and
Yeah.
even it's been one of their long-term flavors, but even the Neapolitan ice cream from High Tech, I think
Well,
it's
that one.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, they got they come up with some crazy flavors.
Cinnamon cereal, wonderful. Blueberry muffin, honey granola. You can't go wrong with a lot of the High Tech flavors.
Yeah.
They do really good with precision.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's see, something that we haven't, okay, this is a good question. This person's an endurance athlete.
Mhm.
What, any prohormones that you guys would recommend for somebody that's like a runner or, sprinter, these guys that need that extra endurance? Maybe not so much a sprinter, but.
Would you say Carnivore?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're picking one over the other, I'd say Carnivore. Carnivore, again, it's gonna have the nitrates in there, it's gonna have the creatine in there, and then you're gonna get the 1 angio and 4 angio to, for one, help with overall recovery, especially if you're an endurance athlete. 2, you're increasing blood flow by a lot, and then the creatine's gonna help with endurance on top of that too. So I mean, yeah, definitely Carnivore.
All right. And guys, keep those questions coming. You can go on the chat on YouTube. You may have to log in, post those questions. These guys will get this answered. Got a question about the phosphagen. Overhyped or worth it? I think there's 2 phosphagens out there right now, right?
USA's looking, the EAS is just a straight creatine monohydrate, but branded phosphagen, the High Tech is a blend of various creatines.
Yeah, so the EAS phosphagen is just straight. It's not like the original phosphagen from a long time ago.
Yeah.
EAS phosphagen is a straight monohydrate. High Tech Pharmaceuticals phosphagen is a blend of different forms. I think there's a nitrate in there. I don't remember if there's a monohydrate in there, but there's different forms of.
It's got one specific one. It's creatine phospho. God,
We don't have one in here.
Uh,
Pull it for me.
yeah.
It's fruit punch flavor too, so it is.
Yeah,
it is an
that
actual
tastes pretty
flavor.
good.
Yeah.
So you got creatine nitrate, HCl,
Yeah.
disodium creatine phosphate,
That's-
tetrahydrate,
Yeah.
beta-alanine, creophos creatine phosphate, and guanidifronic acid.
So the creatine phosphate, I think those were actually, CPOL, yeah. So that was actually, I think the original phosphagen was that.
Okay.
So it was that form of creatine. Before they switched it up, and then more companies found that monohydrate was the one you really want to go with and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So if they want that original phosphagen formula, go with the High Tech.
Go with the High Tech one, yeah.
Okay, now, so somebody's asking about 3AD. I don't know if we know too much about 3AD.
We did a video on that, didn't we?
We did, and we sold it for a while, unfortunately, reasons being we had to take it down, but
Yeah.
it's an adrenal hormone.
Yeah.
So it's not something that causes, to my knowledge, what I know off the top of my head is it's an adrenal hormone that tells something in your brain to produce more testosterone. It doesn't really do that. From research and videos that I've seen, the basic dosage that they recommend for 3AD isn't enough. You have to take like extremely high doses for it to be super effective, which would cause you to need like 5 or 6 bottles of it.
Yeah.
I think you're better off just avoiding that product. I really don't think it's overly, like, it's very overhyped.
Okay. All right. What do you guys think about, I think it's Gorilla Mind, that the Sigma test booster? What's in that?
It's basically test 21 with like boron added.
Yeah, I mean, it's an overall great product. I think you're better off just going with Test 21 because Tonga and Fadoja, you get a clinical dose in there. You get KSM 66 ashwagandha and a full dose of 50 milligrams of Optizync. So
Yeah.
not only immunity.
Hard target,
boosting-
very similar to if you want to add the
Hard
Shilajit and or the
Yeah.
the DIM.
All right, okay, this is probably a good question. If someone's on a prohormone cycle right now, can they jump right into Andriol? Because Andriol is a long-term prohormone. Or should they maybe start with that and then run? So I'm thinking they're wanting to do like, let's say 8 weeks and they're taking Monsterplex.
Mhm.
And instead of jumping into a PCT, you wanna go right into Andriol and take that for 2 or 3 months.
I don't know about your opinion on it, but I realistically, just my recommendation would be to do the full cycle of the Monsterplex, do your post cycle, and then run Andriol. And if you're gonna be running Andriol for long periods of time, let's just say you're gonna do like 6 months, maybe do your 4 months of Andriol and like the last 2 months throw in like whatever prohormone you were interested in, do it, DECA, anything like that.
Yeah, honestly, I'd probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
better to start off right. Okay, best supplements to protect the liver. I think we talked a little about it
Yeah.
earlier.
So, liver support, or liver RX from High Tech, Formutech, Liver Restore is an awesome formula. You got gear support in there as well. I would also look into High Tech Pharmaceuticals, N-acetylcysteine, which is really good for detoxing the liver. It's an antioxidant, it removes free radicals from the body. Milk thistle is really good too as well. But yeah, any of those products would be good.
And John, what's the product that we have for cholesterol?
Citrus and the new one from High Tech, Citrus Bergamot. Yeah.
Citrus bergamot.
So how does
Great
that
stuff.
help?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so citrus bergamot gets into your, from what I've read, gets into your arteries and actually helps the plaque breakdown a little bit better. So for anybody who has, very high cholesterol, can actually help balance that out a little bit. And even, from studies that have been put up, it's been shown with specific numbers as well, too, where there's some people's, like LDL, for example, would go from like mid 200s down to like low 100s, you know what I'm saying, which is a significant difference. And then also helps with balancing your triglycerides as well, too, which is another thing you kind of want to keep an eye out in terms of lipids. So yeah, that's something I personally think.
Good on a prohormone cycle or anytime? Does it?
I would say that's more like an anytime than a health supplement, to be honest, so.
Okay. And talking about levels, John, what was the, you had a gentleman call, I believe it was testosterone 21 that he took, and he showed you the levels of.
Oh, hard target.
Hard target.
Yeah, he
okay.
saw like a 218 point bump in his before and after
Wow.
Yeah.
test scores. Yeah.
We don't get too much people like giving us their blood.
Actual blood work. Yeah.
results,
Yeah. He
but-
actually sent in his
Yeah.
blood work.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So you jumped up 200.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, you're right. Pink Magic.
Okay,
It was Pink Magic.
Oh,
That's what it
Pink
was.
Magic,
Yeah, it was
okay.
Pink Magic.
So Pink Magic jumped up that
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, which was crazy. So if you're someone that maybe has low test levels, you want to try something before TRT, Pink Magic, yeah, his results were amazing. So something you may want to try. Okay, so what are you guys' thoughts on M1D or 17 Pro from LG Sciences right behind you?
So it's not gonna have the label on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem with those single.
Yeah, so there's your M1D right there on the top. So 3-beta hydroxy.
Hydroxy, choline, Bristoli, and androsterone, and resveratrol.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're getting an epi, small amount of androsterone, and then you're getting 2 antioxidants, which is the closest for scolia in the resveratrol.
I've seen some things about for scolia too that for like weight loss
Yeah,
too as well.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
tightening up basically. So
Yeah.
I mean, one idea I'm guessing that is like their cutting agent. So I think that's like a I'm guessing that's their primo bulk.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
17 Pro too is more of a leaning agent as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nice lean stack.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we only got about 7,500 people signed up for these giveaways, so make sure to go to BestPriceNutrition.com /showtime, put your email in, and we're giving away a lot of goodies here.
Only 7,500?
What?
You said
75 to 100.
I thought you said 7,500.
No,
Like,
oh, that would be great.
7,500.
Yeah, we're going viral. Okay, let's see, HMB. So this kind of had a comeback. I mean, I remember this stuff when I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on people taking it over 40, as you get older?
So the purpose behind HMB, again, we're talking about back before,
Yeah.
nobody truly knew what it was used for. I see people ask me all the time when I first got into the supplement industry, and I'll be honest with you, I would straight up tell them, like, honestly, but I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. But the more research I did on it afterwards, so HMB helps to activate mTOR. So mTOR is actually what your muscles use in terms of its energy production and how it actually takes in the amino acids, basically. So when mTOR is activated, it actually boosts up leucine amount in the body by a lot, which in return helps with nitrogen retention, which then helps to recover and build muscle afterwards. So if you're over 40 and you want to take HMB, go for it. I know a lot of companies these days are mixing it with creatine too.
Yes.
Yeah. So, which makes a lot of sense because now you're getting ATP development as well as increased nitrogen retention.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, muscular endurance, muscle fullness, and strength output. I think that's a good combo.
Yeah.
I say I do know we don't carry it yet. If that's something you guys would want us to bring in, we definitely can. But Animal just dropped a creatine and HMB.
I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah, okay. Because we sell a single one. High Tech has a single.
HMB. Yep. And I believe we do carry Life Extension that is the muscle formula that is HMB and creatine as well.
Okay, gotcha, okay. All right, let's see. All right, let's go back to some of these. Let's see, okay, there's a good question. This person wants to know about drinking alcohol on cycle. I know you just had some of my bourbon earlier this morning and you're on cycle. Not earlier this morning, no, we don't drink it that early, but before the show a little bit. But what are your thoughts on Prohormone cycle, taking alcohol in?
Yeah. So my recommendation is if you run in a Prohormone cycle, try to not drink alcohol as much as possible because alcohol does have an adverse effect on testosterone as well. So if it's something that you're regularly, drinking and you're taking Prohormones, you're kind of like reducing like the benefits that come with Prohormones. So if you don't listen to what I say and you drink anyways, take a liver support because again, it does have an effect on your liver. But if you are taking Prohormones, do your best not to drink alcohol at all because in general, alcohol, especially things like beer and all that, are heavy and bloating, and it just has an adverse effect on hormones.
Yeah.
All right, this is another good one. Get it all the time. I don't know if there's a difference, but should Prohormones be taken with food?
I don't think so. I know we were talking about like different brands and all that kind of stuff. We brought up like test boosters, we brought up the Gorilla Mind one, all that kind of stuff. One thing you guys have to remember is absorbability with supplements is a huge factor of how much your body can actually utilize of the product. High Tech is known, and I've mentioned this, I think, numerous different Q&As that we've done. High Tech's known for their cyclosome delivery system, where basically they've coated each one of their tablets with that specific compound, so that way when your body takes it in, you're literally absorbing, I think it's, 95% or something like that?
I think it's
very
up
high
to
amount.
99%.
Yeah, so absorption of their products compared to most others, very, very high. So that's where What was the question gonna make? I had no idea.
Food.
All right, so taking it with food.
It's getting late.
Yeah. So taking it with food. So that's where like sometimes the reason why they tell you to take certain supplements with food is to have it absorb better in the body. But because of how well they already absorb to begin with, I don't really think you can take it with food.
Okay.
You know, going along with that question we constantly get, can I cut them in half?
Yep.
Can I crush them into powder?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even with that coating on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you cut it in half, I mean, you're not really getting rid of the coating.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you chop it up, the coating's gonna get mixed into the powder anyway.
Okay.
Just take the pill.
Yeah, look at you. How small they are.
Just
dude.
take
Suck
the
it
pill.
up.
Take the pill.
Yeah, I know, we get it all the time. They're not that big. I mean, there's other pills that are so
Yeah,
much
much
bigger.
larger.
Take that and gorge.
Yeah.
You know, where he has to suck on it for a while.
Pause.
I let them melt in my mouth, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
Difference.
All right. I think me and you actually did this video, but what are your thoughts on Pro IGF-1?
I think it's great. Pro IGF-1 and
Protropin is.
Protropin,
If you're
yeah,
in the
are
chat.
the other ones. So Pro IGF-1 is they use a whey peptide form that actually breaks down into IGF in the body to help balance out your body's natural IGF-1 production, which in return can help with your body's full utilization of nutrients, specifically carbohydrates, and then which it in return actually does uptake straight into the muscle, which is what IGF actually helps out with. And then protropin, it's the blend that they use helps to activate your body's natural growth hormone. For one, helps you sleep a lot better, helps you recover a lot faster as well too. Nourishment throughout all basically. I had one customer that used to love getting the pear every time he'd come in. I think it was like he was going through the bottles like every 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And he would come in, restock, and I would ask him for his feedback all the time. I was like, man, how do you really like it? He's like, I'm coming back for it.
Yeah.
He's like, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, it's, I took it from a shoulder injury.
Right.
You know, I can't say exactly, that's the reason I went through so quickly, my recovery, I was doing physical therapy as well, but it's definitely something, I think you actually recommended that I take it during that time, so.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, that was a terrible time in my life, anybody's ever had. Is it true a hot girlfriend will raise your testosterone 900%? I don't know, John?
Is it not backed by, or I don't know about 900%, but that is actually true.
Is it?
Yeah,
Really?
backed by studies.
I have to have a supplement called Hot New Girlfriend.
Hot girl.
Yes.
I'm gonna make it. Coming out with it.
Okay, so any supplements to clean your blood before a drug test? You know, the funny thing is,
Water.
John, did a test, we did a test with this once, didn't we?
Oh, that was urine.
Oh, that was a urine test,
Yeah.
yes, okay, never mind, he failed. But, I guess any supplements to detox?
You want to clean yourself? Take some high-tech Senna XT. You will go to the bathroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If we're talking blood specifically, honestly, niacin and water.
Oh,
Flush.
niacin.
Yeah.
Niacin, yeah.
But like high amounts, like you probably need like a gram of niacin to be honest with you. You're gonna be flushing really badly.
You're gonna be straight red and
Yeah.
hot in the face. And,
There's been some supplements where I take it, and I don't know, there must be a heavy dose, I'll get like blotches
Yeah.
all over myself.
there was, God, what did I take? It was years ago. It was steel supplements. It was the Hard AF.
Yeah.
And it had an insane amount of niacin in there. And the first time I took it, I mean, for like 4 hours, I was completely hot in the face and blotchy, rashy red all over the place. I hated it.
Niacin, Senna, water.
Yeah, Senna, especially if you're detoxing and you're experiencing, now this goes more to like bloat and you just want to cleanse yourself out. Senna will make you go to the bathroom a lot.
Okay.
A little too much.
Okay, so Philip wants to know, best beginner stack for not only building muscle, but burning fat as well. So it sounds like a recount they kind of want to do.
So, building muscle, building muscle, burning fat. I mean, a good, like, a single Prohormone, if you want to build some muscle, I'd probably go halotestin, because it's a 4-andro and an epiandro. It's not necessarily gonna burn fat. Burn fat comes from especially diet, your caloric intake. I would throw in a fat burner in there.
Yeah, I guess that's a question. Can people take fat burners along with
You
Prohormone?
can absolutely do that. If you wanna go the stim route, if you know, you don't mind caffeine, I love, Lipodrine, it's awesome, it's our top seller. ECA Extreme is another one that I'm a big fan of, Hydroxy Elite. If you wanna go the non-stim route, Top Secret Nutrition is a high-tech brand. Their Fireball Carnitine is awesome.
Delicious.
Not the Fireball flavor.
That's
Not the Fireball
best.
flavor. But it's carnitine, which is a great non-stim fat burner. It's got your grains of paradise and your GBB, which is a good thermogenic. If you want something strong on an empty stomach, yohimbine is my favorite thing in the world.
No, it's terrible.
I take 12 milligrams of yohimbine every morning before I
Yeah.
work
You're
out.
the same guy that takes that mega epiandro stack. but it's-
Yes,
Yeah.
and then on fasted cardio days, I take about 15 milligrams of yohimbine.
Yeah, it's just, that's nuts.
Jump on the stair step or incline walk for 45 minutes and hit the sauna after. Trust me, you're gonna
And
drop
you hit the sauna. All right,
Yes.
no, that's just crazy.
5 pounds of water weight just in one day. It just dropped right there.
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am a
yeah,
psychopath,
yeah.
I know.
What?
What he's doing.
No.
No, yeah.
I take 0.12 milligrams of
Yeah.
yohimbine and I want to kill somebody.
Yeah, don't listen to that guy. All right.
I know what I'm talking
Sometimes.
Whey protein
Most of the time.
isolate or hydrolyzed whey, is there
Both.
that much of a difference?
Yes. Luckily, you can go with something like Precision, which is a hydroisolate, or mainly hydrolyzed. Difference is, isolate is a more pure form of whey protein, hence why it's called isolate. It's been isolated from all the other, essentially garbage that's found in it, so any kind of lactose, sugars, fats. Hydrolyzed, or hydrosolate, is gone through another broken down process, so it's pretty much pre-digested, so your body actually absorbs it quicker and digests a little bit better as well. So,
Hydrolyzed seems to be the way to go.
Yeah.
And it's, and Precision isn't too much more expensive than, a lot of times it's the same price as other isolates.
Precision
Yeah.
is the cheapest isolate that we have.
Yeah.
All right, King Ponds wants to know, what is your best recommendation for a bedroom stack?
Bedroom stack.
John, isn't this your forte?
John does answer a lot of sexual desire
I
questions.
answered them, arginine and pycnogenol or max load.
Yeah, so we have it was MD Science, it's Swiss Navy now, the entire line of, your Max Hard, your Max Load, Max Stamina, I mean, any of those would work. Halo Elite too, because that does increase your sex drive.
With those, we got the sample packets too, if someone just wants to try one before buying a whole bottle.
Yeah, Maca's really good for sex
Earmuffs,
drive too.
Taylor, earmuffs.
Yes.
You know
So,
what?
but any of these Swiss Navy brands, any, the MD Science, Max Hard, Max Load, any of those are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen our selection of them, there's some crazy names of stuff, but people love it, they love it.
If
know?
you have like very discreet, like, sexual related questions, you can call in and ask for John.
Yeah.
I said it's his forte.
And all shipments go out in a cardboard box with nothing on it, so
Yes,
if you
we
want
won't
to
tell
order
your
anything
wife.
like that, yes. Let's see, okay, Autumn 715, I'm all natural like the Liver King.
So,
But seriously, according to your high-tech chart, Monsterplex seems much closer to Superdrol than Halodrol, would you agree?
it shares common ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Turk, the
I think
one,
he's
and the
talking about
four.
the chart that we have on the website.
Sure, yes,
Yeah.
because it does contain pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing that Superdrol. Yeah, we just normally recommend Halodrol because it's mainly just a 1 andro and a 4 andro
Right.
with a natural muscle builder. But yeah, I mean, if you want the exact ingredients that Superdrol has, yeah, Monsterplex contains the 1 andro, the 4 andro, the Turk, and then it has other natural muscle builders in there too.
Okay. All right, guys, and keep bringing those questions out. We're gonna end the show around 9 PM Central Time, so we got
Good lord.
5 or 6 minutes here. We've been here all day, but we wanna try to get to all your questions, so definitely throw them at us, and we'll answer as many as we can. Again, use coupon code SHOWTIME on Best Price Nutrition, Supplement Warehouse, My Supplement Store. Gonna give you 20% off everything. Stacks, it'll give you 10% off. What about, is that spelled right? No, ball refill and, slidnafil? Is that pronounced? right?
Sildenafil?
Slim-
Sildenafil.
So Viagra?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So ball refill, we finally have back in stock. We finally got ball refill. Ball refill's been out of stock for like 6 months now, so we do have that one. I mean, it is herbal based, so we're, what's the other one? Sildenafil, which is Viagra. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's gonna be on a different level when it comes to like ED issues and all that, so that's gonna be much stronger.
Yeah. Well, John, what was the product you found research for ED that did really well?
Arginine pycnogenol.
Oh, that
I
you
think
mentioned
a
earlier.
3-month study, like 93% of guys in the study had improved
Okay, so pycnogenol and
arginine.
arginine.
Yeah, I think it was about 1.7 grams of arginine and like maybe 60, 75 milligrams of pycnogenol.
So
Okay.
pycnogenol, for people who don't know, is pine bark.
Pine bark, yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
Which high tech has a straight pine bark.
200 milligrams.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
real, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, so there you go. Let's see, also is, pre-workout plus euphoria optimal for the bedroom?
These Blackstone Labs Euphoria and
Yeah.
I think pre-workout. I don't know about taking a pre-workout
Well,
before.
pre-workout, so stimulants, caffeine, depending on what you're taking, is a vasorestrictor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So maybe just do the euphoria,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You have a lot of
and
energy,
non-stim
Yeah.
pre-workout.
Cause DMAA used to, you know, they'd call it,
but Stim
Yes.
D.
Stim D.
Yes, yeah, so that's what they used to,
Stim D.
Heather.
We have sensitive ears in that place, guys.
Yeah, so,
yeah, I would probably recommend that.
No.
Yeah,
Taking
no.
that.
Maybe grab a NutriBio non-stim and some euphoria and do that.
Yeah,
Or get some arginine euphoria.
Yeah.
Come on.
yeah.
There you go.
okay.
Before, we got the big bottle now.
We do it with a bigger bottle.
Yeah.
Because before it was, we only had 16 count?
Yep.
Now, how many come in the bigger one?
120.
120, yeah.
So for the
Okay.
people who bought 10 bottles at a time, they can just buy one big bottle.
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
I'm getting. Just buy like 15
Oh,
bottles at a
she
time.
still does, yeah.
And
Okay, a few questions gonna run through here. Can I stack different brands of Prohormones together?
Sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. We got Blackstone Labs, we got High Tech, we got LG, we got Innovative Labs.
They all come from the same place,
Yep.
literally.
Let's see. Is there a specific diet you should be on while on Prohormones? It depends on your goal,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, if you're trying
Play
to
around
bulk
with
up,
diets, yeah.
yeah, you need to be in a caloric
Surplus.
If you wanna lose weight, you need to be in a deficit. It's a trial and error thing.
with the trial and error, this is actually another great question. What are common mistakes beginners make when they jump on Prohormones?
Only having a specific regimen planned just for while you're on cycle. Keep that whole plan going on even afterwards, before and afterwards, so set yourself up for success, throw in the Prohormones, and then continue it afterwards to literally keep your gains. That's literally the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
So I think that is the biggest mistake, when they're like, oh, well, I'm on Prohormones, so I'm gonna eat right, do my cardio, lift heavy, and then when you're off it, you're like, it's not really a big deal now if I miss my protein today or tomorrow, but it kind of is, so.
I was gonna say that, we get this a lot, that people maybe only wanted to take it for 4 weeks, where they say, I'm gonna take 1/3 the dose because I don't want the side effects. Well, it's just, you're gonna invest, like, especially with the, dropping it down 1/3 or half the dose, investing so much time.
Right.
8 weeks, changing probably your training and your diet up. You should take the recommended dose on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, on top of that, if someone's on Prohormones, let's say for like 2 weeks, they get really sick and they can't work out, they can't do anything, and they're like, I just wanna get off Prohormones. Should they take a PCT, or is there any cutoff when you should, you're okay not to take that PCT if you have to immediately get off for some reason?
For 2 weeks,
I don't think you need one after 2 weeks, to be honest with you.
if we're 4 weeks, 6 weeks in, 6 weeks definitely.
Yeah,
If you're only 2 weeks, realistically, I think you'd be okay to just stop.
right.
Okay, can Blackstone Labs, PCT5 work on high-tech pharmaceuticals Prohormones?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's no problem, it comes back to, you can change brands around.
Mhm.
I think we answered this before, but can Pink Magic and Aromaplex be used as a PCT?
Yep.
Yes.
We do that one. Yep.
All right, I like this one, top-rated testosterone boosters for men over 50. I love testosterone 21, but other ones,
Apex Male, Testosterone 21, Hard Target, probably our top three. Belasterone is another one that's very popular.
The enhanced stuff's all getting popular as well.
Yeah,
The Black
Top
Ox,
T,
Blue Ox, Top T.
Blue Ox.
The
Alpha T
Alpha
Magnum.
T Magnum, this has got, this
That
has
is
a lot of-
actually a really solid formula.
Yeah.
It's a newer one. If you haven't tried the Nutrix
Yeah.
Alpha T Magnum, it's actually a really solid formula.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this next, so. But yeah, you got quite a few options out there. All right, let me see, let's see, military test, we talked about that. Ooh, average, okay, I guess just kind of circling completely around, you guys are experts in this, so maybe from each of you, Jordan, what would you recommend? I'm gonna ask you for cutting, since you've been cutting, I'll ask you for bulking. So, single Prohormone for cutting and stack for cutting, what are your recommendations?
So single Prohormone for cutting is always an epiandro. My most favorite one's difenoxazine
Okay.
for cutting. To stack, I mean, again, I ran the andriol, dimethazine, trimol. That's one of my favorite cutting stacks. Now, if I want to get as peeled as possible, and I really don't want any water retention, I'd probably go Primabond with Winstrol or Primabond with dimethazine.
Okay, and same for you for bulking.
So for bulking, standalone, I would say Sustanon 250 for sure. If we're talking stacking two compounds, I'd probably be talking Sustanon 250 and Equipoise. That would probably be my go-to. Because again, one thing I've realized with a lot of people is they just have a hard time getting in more food to grow. And then if we're throwing a third one in there, I would say Decadurabolin on top of that.
Yeah.
So yes, that's 250, Equipoise, and then Decadurabolin.
All right, excellent, so. All right, everybody, I don't know, if you stayed with us throughout the show, appreciate it, I know we had some audio problems, but we'll get that fixed for the next show that we do. I want to thank, Edwin driving out here to see us again, we can see him every once in a while. Jordan's always with us, doing some videos,
I live here.
and, so again, guys, and girls, you can visit Best Price Nutrition, Supplement Warehouse, my supplement store. Use coupon code SHOWTIME to be available all night for you. It's giving you 20% off everything, 10% off stacks, because those are already heavily discounted. If you haven't gone to BestPriceNutrition.com /Showtime, that URL, and entered your email address, make sure to do that, because we're going to be picking winners tomorrow. Again, if you spend the most, you're going to be getting this box of Bear Barrels cookies and cream, which are freaking delicious, and Jordan's last bottle of Androdeal. And also, just when you guys are placing orders tomorrow, we're gonna be throwing in random products. We got, the pre-workout from NutriBio, we got the Animal Hardcore from Nutrex, and we got some other stuff in here. So you guys, if you end up getting something free in your box, it's because you won. So, but outside of that, thanks again for everybody. Thanks again for watching. Definitely, watch us on YouTube as well, subscribe to there, we got tons of videos, and until next time, thanks for watching.
See ya.